Hi there, this is Cami, and we are in November looking at our Google Drive Blitz, and our topic is all about shared with me. Now, that's a place in Google Drive that lots of people are often confused and have questions about. So, in our regular Google Drive, we've been doing things like renaming folders and changing the colors of our folders. And we are able to organize just how we like it in Google Drive. In another month, we're going to look at how to move things around. Now, in shared with me, all the time people say, how can I clean up shared with me? It's driving me crazy. Here's the thing. You can't do much to organize in shared with me. You can't organize, you can't move things around. So really in shared with me, you just have to let it go. The best thing to do might not to be to ever go there. There are a few things that we can do in shared with me though that we do need to look at. So one of the things we need to know how to do in shared with me is see what's happening. So you can see all these files here are shared by Cami Cannikins. Now that's the other Cami Cannikins. So these are all shared with my other account. So shared with me tells you who owns the folder or the file. And so that is one thing that you can tell. You'll see that every folder in shared with me has a little person icon on it. And so you can see that it has been shared with you, so you won't accidentally know or accidentally do something because you'll always be able to tell. So one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to take the things that are important to us and shared with me and move them into our Google Drive. Now, how do things get to shared with me? Anything that anyone has ever shared with you, whether it's a folder or a file, ends up in shared with me. And if someone shares you one folder and it's got a bunch of folders inside, they all come. So you can end up with a lot of things in your Google Drive. The other thing that happens is anytime that you click on a file that is a Google file, so a Google Drive or a slides, you open a presentation or a spreadsheet, whether it's from an email or Teachers Pay Teachers or any other link, if it's a Google Drive file, it makes a copy and puts it in your shared with me. So here's what we do. We right click and we go to add shortcut to drive. Now, the neat thing is that we don't want to just put it in our main drive. We can organize it from here. So I'm going to click on my drive. I'm going to pick challenge number 3, and I'm going to click on that. Folder's empty. I'm going to add the shortcut. So now if we come back to my drive, I'll go into challenge number 3. There's that file. But now look at this. It has a little share arrow on it that says this has been shared. And if you see over here, this is my drive. It says I am not the owner. Okay, so that's important to know. We can see sometimes it says who the owner is, but we can see that this share arrow means that we are not the owner. So in shared with me, the few things that we can do are we can sometimes rename files. We have to be very careful here. If I right click on this one, it does not let me rename it. So I'm only a viewer here. I'm prevented from renaming it. But what you have to know is that if you come into shared with me and you have the ability to rename and you click rename and you rename it, then it renames it for everybody who can see that file. So let's say you have a group of colleagues and you've shared a bunch of folders. If you rename things in a folder that's shared with you or a file that's shared with you, if you have that ability, it renames it for everybody. So that's really important to know. So if it's shared with you and you can rename it, remember that it's renaming it for everybody. Now, the only thing you can really do in shared with me is you can remove items. So if I right click on it, we learned this in challenge 2, I can come down to the bottom, I can click remove. Now it takes it out of shared with me. It's not there anymore, but if we come back to my drive, go into my folder, it's still there. So the only thing we can do in our shared with me to clean it up really is to delete or remove items. If I open this up again, sometimes it will put it back into the shared with me. So know that sometimes things can reappear there even after you've removed them. So shared with me, you can't do much. So for the challenge this week, I would like you to go to your shared with me. I would like you to move an item into your Google Drive, and then I want you to take a screenshot of that item, and I want you to show the share, and you should also show that the owner is not you. So that item shouldn't say me beside it. So that's what you're going to take for a screenshot this week.